So Eliza's husband won't let her drive his car. It's for a specific reason. We'll dive into this now.
When you need advice, come to Ben and Kelly. It's Group Therapy on 99.7 DJX.
Ladies, get ready for this. Hey, Ben and Kelly, I wanted to run this by you to see if you and your listeners thought it was weird, too.
Okay.
My husband won't let me drive his car.
All right.
So the other day, the AC in my car pooped out on me. And I have a pretty long commute.
Oh, nightmare.
So I asked my husband if we could swap cars. So I was kind of hoping that he would run my car to the dealer for me and get me a loaner on his way to the office. I thought this was a pretty typical thing that a husband would do for a wife, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, we were not on the same page.
Mm.
He said he wasn't comfortable with me driving his car. It's a fancy BMW M6, and he really babies it.
I don't know the BMW series of cars. Is that like a... I know
it's one of those high-tech cars with a big engine, fancy controls.
Okay.
I told him I just needed to drive to work and back, but this is what he said, and I have a feeling a lot of women are going to be like, oh, no, he didn't, because that's how I was.
Okay. But
he said, I don't think it would be a good idea. This is too much car for a woman to handle. Yeah, I know. I was shocked and disappointed that he made me feel like so small.
Yeah.
Now, before you think he's a complete and total ogre, he did come up with another solution.
Okay.
He rented a car for me and arranged to have my car towed to the shop.
Sure.
So that was nice, and I appreciate that he took the time to help me out, but I was hurt that he wouldn't trust me with his car.
Right.
I'm honestly still hurt and upset about it. I think I should be able to take his car like he takes my car, and I can't believe he doesn't trust me. We have 2 vehicles at the house, but I'm only allowed to drive one of them. It's kind of ridiculous, right? So how can I gain that trust, or should I even have to?
Okay, that kind of reminds me of the classic movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off, where they steal Cameron's dad's Ferrari that is untouched in their garage.
And he keeps track of the mileage.
Right, exactly, exactly. Man, I look, Jacqueline says, as a car person, I'm on his side.
Really?
If he's ridden with her driving and he doesn't think she can handle it, I totally respect him for telling her.
Wow. Okay.
So, I
guess there is a maybe the factor of she's not acknowledging what kind of a driver she is.
Right, exactly. Like, curb check!
Yeah.
Oops. And like maybe who knows, maybe the rims on her car are all dinged up because she scrapes them along curbs and...
Listen, with my track record, I would not let me drive it. I will openly admit that. I have seen the back of my own mailbox with the bumper. I have done it in the parking garage. I scraped up the side. Yeah, there are things. I knocked a mailbox. Gosh, mailboxes and I don't get along.
Yeah, so I think originally, like, as you were kind of telling her situation, I'm like on her side going, yeah, what a jerk husband, what a man. And then I'm like, all right, well, maybe she is a terrible driver. And he's
maybe
just
there
like...
is a little tidbit she's not, putting in there. Now, Kayla said, if he's not like that all the time, I don't see the issue. I wouldn't let something like that bring tension. He found a solution.
Yeah, just live with it. Right. All right. Well, hey, I don't know if you've been in this situation where you are a spouse and you've got 2 cars, but you don't drive the other car, let us know how that all works in your situation, because I think maybe that could help in this situation.
Okay. One more comment. Tanya said, dress up super sexy, get him turned on, then tell him he ain't man enough to handle your engine. Then go trade your car for the exact same or more powered than his.
Oh my gosh. Okay. 502.
That's one way to go.
571-99. Group therapy. So his car is too much for a woman to handle, according to Eliza, who has messaged us for group therapy. And She's like, yo, the AC in my car went out and my husband wouldn't even let me drive his car to work. Instead, got me a rental.
Yeah, he says too much of a car for a woman to handle. Zach says, tell her to be a better driver. I'm sure he's got a good reason. Plus, that's an $80,000 car.
Well, that's funny that you say that because there are several people in the comments that are saying, Jennifer, who says, ha, 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 a BMW M6 is just a $50,000 car. It's not like it's not like the BMW M3, which is more like a $500,000 car.
Ooh.
Now I could see him being skittish over you driving off in that, but if his panties are in a wad over a $50,000 car, then he has some issues. The car's insured, right? So what's the problem? Glad he at least got you a loaner, but this is some quirky insecurity mixed with control on his part. Hilarious. Tell him to grow up.
Wow. Jacqueline said, maybe she can gain his trust by driving his car while he's with her. If he doesn't trust her ability to be able to handle it, then yeah, maybe, she drives his car, makes him feel better.
Yeah, Haley brings up a good point in texting and says, I think the problem is that he didn't say the problem was her driving. He said it was too much of a car for a woman and totally generalized the situation. So as a woman, that would totally make me cringe.
Yes.
Yeah,
Jacqueline said the exact same, or Laura said the exact same thing. Not sure if I have all the context here, but he got himself a fancy car while you drive a car without AC. Then he insults you to your face and your entire gender. You might have come up with a rental car solution to bide his time, but is there something more to this? Does he value the car more than you? Is he hiding something in the car he doesn't want you to see? Not only is it weird, it's not right. If your name is on the car, you have every right to drive it. I
will say, though, the comments are pretty mixed.
They are.
They are pretty mixed with sticking up for him, and because that's the one thing we don't know is she a good driver or does she bang up her car all the time?
Yep, she did not give any indication as to if she's got any sort of track record of not being a good driver.
Yeah, we got a message from a listener and said, my husband said the same thing about our 2020 Mustang GT. 6-speed manual transmission, 480 horsepower.
Ooh. Okay. Amy Jo said, I agree that he didn't say the right thing at all, and an apology is definitely warranted. But this could be a teaching moment, though. Ask him to give you driving lessons in his car in a safe space until he's satisfied that you can handle the car. That way, if this comes up again, it won't be an issue.
So my sister and my brother-in-law, they had 2 cars, and they were going to reduce their cars just to 1. And they got rid of my sister's car because she drove a Subaru wagon. And my brother-in-law refused to drive that car because it was a Subaru wagon. And
didn't want to be seen in it.
There's a stigma that comes with driving a Subaru wagon that he was not about. And so...
Oh, listen, I used to have a yellow Beetle with daisy wheels and a little flower in the vase in the dashboard. And my husband, at the time when we were dating, he drove it. He got comments.
Oh, I'm sure he did. But kudos to your husband for driving it, because if it were my...
Yep, he was just like, whatever.
If it were my brother-in-law, he'd have been like, nope, I'll walk.
Nope. Man, I love that car.
So, I don't know. What are we saying here? Because I do feel like the unknown is her ability to drive, but...
Yeah, I think I really like the idea of, okay, if he's so uncomfortable with her behind the wheel, I feel like, if there is an emergency situation that comes down and she's got to drive the car, I feel like let's go ahead, drive the car with him, take a little driving lesson, and, so that he feels more comfortable that she can handle it and she'll get used to how to handle it if it's way different than what she drives.
All right. One last comment from Ginger, who says, if it were me, the next time he needs to drive your car, I would tell him that the mechanic fixed the previous issue, which was that a man had driven it improperly.
Oh.
Tell him it's too girly for him and he can't drive it as you don't want it to break down again from overexposure to too much testosterone. That's pretty petty and funny.
I like the little...
At the same time. So... I don't know. Yeah, I think what we're saying is, try to get him on your side. Maybe let this situation right now go. You've got the reno. You've got that figured out. Your car's going to get fixed. So, all
yeah,
right.
but I think it's still going to bother her that he has, told her that I don't think you can handle this. And so that I think wouldn't set well with me either. So let's, in the future down the road, if this does come up again, let's say, listen, I need you. Let's figure out how to get you more comfortable with me driving your car.
Yeah.
So let's go out for a little driving lessons. You can teach me all about it.
Yeah. All right. Well, good luck. Let us know how it all works out for you here on 99.7. DJX.